lot of executive directors say they hate fundraising. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of the time, they don't actually hate fundraising. What they hate is vulnerability. They hate being in the position of asking. They hate the possibility of being told no. They hate feeling exposed, uncertain, or emotionally on the spot. And fundraising requires all of that because fundraising is not about money. It's about belief. It's about relationship. It's about inviting someone into a vision and asking them to invest in it. That is deeply human work. And for a lot of leaders, it feels a lot more personal than they want to admit. So instead of saying, this makes me uncomfortable, they say, I'm just not a fundraiser. Because that explanation, too easy. Because if you are the executive director, fundraising is not some optional side quest somebody added to your calendar just to ruin your afternoon. It is part of the job. Not because you have to write every appeal, manage every donor database entry, or personally make every ask. You do not. But because leadership and fundraising are tied together. Donors do not just give to programs. They give to vision. They give to confidence. They give to credibility. And they give to leaders who make them feel connected to something that matters. That's why an executive director's avoidance of fundraising is never just a personal preference. It affects the entire organization. When the executive director avoids fundraising, the development staff end up carrying leadership work they were never supposed to carry alone. They're expected to build trust without enough access to the person donors most want to hear from. They are expected to drive revenue while also compensating for the emotional distance at the top. And let's be honest, that's not fair. And it's not strategic either. Oh, and the board notices too. If the executive director treats fundraising like an annoying obligation, the board will often follow that lead. They start to see fundraising as optional, awkward, or somebody else's problem. That mindset spreads fast, and donors feel it too. Now, they may not be able to name it, but they can sense when leadership is detached. They can sense when the mission is being presented without real ownership, without real energy, without that deeper connection that makes people want to stay involved. That's why I say you can hire someone like me for development, but you know what? You can't outsource the courage because at some point, leadership has to be willing to show up, to be visible, to tell the story, to ask clearly, to hear no and not crumble, to keep building relationships even when it feels uncomfortable. That is vulnerability. And yes, it's hard. But leadership is not just about setting vision from a safe distance. It's also about stepping into the discomfort that comes with making that vision real. So if your executive director says they hate fundraising, I suggest looking a little deeper. Is it really about fundraising? Or is it about the fear of rejection? Fear of being visible, fear of asking, fear of not being enough in the room? Because once you identify the real issue, you can actually work on it. You can build support. You can build skills. You can build confidence. But first, you have to tell the truth. Fundraising is not separate from leadership.